Are the quality of strikers around Europe declining? It's been an interesting debate that's been raging on social media this last week. There was an interesting picture I saw of the big six clubs, seeing the strikers they have now compared to what they had in the yesteryear. And although I did think it was an unfair comparison, especially considering some of those strikers were absolute legends of their respective clubs, it did make me question whether strikers now just aren't the same as they once were. Van Persie, Drogba, Rooney, Suarez, Ibrahimovic, Benzema, Cavani, Samuel Eto'o, Robert Lewandowski. You compare this to now, and in Europe, you have the likes of Harry Kane, Osimhen, Lautaro Martinez, Haaland. But is it that the quality of these strikers is declining, or is just that nostalgia is a huge thing that means that we still cling on to people that gave us such good memories? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Sani-That sports guy, talking all things sport. And of course, today we're speaking football because we need to find out, are strikers just not that good anymore? Now, if we look from a holistic point of view, football in general isn't the same anymore. If you look at players that we grew up watching, for example, the Henrys, the Bergkamps, there was something about them that meant they could express themselves. Yes, that has still happened in the last 10 years with players such as Neymar and Hazard, for example, showing that happen. But the thing is, football's a system-based game now, I'd say. There's less freedom for individual brilliance. You do get some players being called system players, for example, that would only do well in one certain outfit. Lionel Messi was told for years that he was only a system player in Barcelona because he never got it done with Argentina. Now, I'm not going to delve too much into his time at PSG and MLS because I don't really think you can draw too much into it, in my humble opinion. But at Argentina, he still managed to win the Holy Grail that was the World Cup. If he was such a system player, would he really have won that? Yeah, we can get into the details of each game and some of the dubious decisions that definitely did happen, but he still won the most coveted prize in the game, cementing himself as the greatest player of this generation, at least. Another thing that I don't think has helped are Messi and Ronaldo. Now, of course, they are the greatest thing that's happened to modern football in terms of growth, popularity, and just natural interest. But the ludicrous numbers that they were putting up year on year have meant that we compare strikers now to them and see numbers that just are nowhere near them. Messi got 50 goals in one season. Ronaldo got 48. The only player now that can genuinely think that could maybe touch that is maybe Haaland. But if we look at Haaland, he only managed to get 36 last season in the Prem. I say only because although it is an amazing achievement, it still pales insignificantly to the numbers that Messi and Ronaldo got. Now, you might say, oh, he plays in the Premier League, which is much harder than La Liga. But the thing is, Ronaldo for a long time was getting his goals from out left. Likewise, Messi, although he did play false nine for many seasons at Barcelona, even in his latter years, he was playing on the right flank with Suarez down the middle, and he was still getting ludicrous numbers. The other thing that needs to be acknowledged is defensive structures as well. Although you won't get the likes of Maldini, Nesta, John Terry, Rio Ferdinand, Sol Campbell, Vidic, etc. coming through the ranks, I think structures in terms of the way teams in the Premier League defend has meant that you're not going to get strikers in the 30s year on year. Even Sergio Aguero didn't get back-to-back 30-goal seasons in the league. The other thing to consider as well is it's not just strikers that are getting goals this season, although you have the likes of midfielders getting goals, which isn't something new because, for example, we only had Frank Lampard 10 years ago getting you 20 goals a season from midfield. But I think wingers are more prevalent in the game in terms of getting goals. Now, yeah, you're going to look back and you're going to be like, oh, but there was Gareth Bale, Ronaldo, Hazard. But I don't think there were that many goal scorers coming from out wide. If we look at the Premier League, for example, we've had Mane, Salah, Son, Raheem Sterling, and Marcus Rashford getting you many goals. And if we look at Europe as well, we've got the likes of Kvaratskhelia, Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo. These players are a big reason, especially if we look at last season, why their teams have such high goal outputs. Now, there's no denying there are still some lethal strikers in world football. I mentioned a few of them earlier, Harry Kane, Osimhen, Haaland. But star power at these big clubs has definitely waned. Before, there was a fear factor when you came up against certain strikers, especially the likes of Drogba, for example. Whereas now, I don't think these strikers instill the same fear. And when I say these strikers, I'm talking about strikers in general outside of the ones that you might have thought of are being the best strikers in Europe. Although that's talking about big clubs and their strikers, there are some teams around Europe that still have amazing strikers. If we just look at the Premier League alone, you have Isak, you have Watkins, you even have an Ivan Toney. And although, yes, you may compare him to yesteryear and look at the likes of Jermaine Defoe, for example, or Robbie Keane, it does make you think whether it's just the big clubs that aren't finding those gems that they had previously up front, and it's more of a big club issue as opposed to an all-round football issue. I said it at the start of the video, but nostalgia does play a big element. Legends of the game that we saw growing up are a big reason why we look at strikers now and inevitably will compare. But comparisons are the biggest killer when it comes to growth and achievement. Because strikers are still achieving great things in the game. There's always peaks and troughs when it comes to football. Although, yes, the likes of Jesus, Højlund and Nunez can't really hold their own against legends of their club. Patience is a virtue, as they say. And maybe, just maybe, they may find a way to get those numbers that puts him not on the pantheon of those greats, but at least close to them. Thank you very much for watching this video. I mean, it's an interesting debate. I mean, I saw it on, like I said, social media where people were saying, are Premier League strikers declining? I think strikers in general, like I said in this video, aren't really the same anymore. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. Why do you think strikers aren't really the same as much anymore? Or do you just think it's a pointless debate? But as always, thank you very much for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe if you're new to the channel. And as always, until next time, peace.